Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm came out in 1996. I was 10 years old, and this was, it was just the right time for me to enjoy this show. Episode 1, Combat Begins Again. Clancy Brown is the voice actor for Raiden. That feels right. Love that man's work. Nightwolf having a wolf computer in his cave feels very Batman-like. I totally forgot Jax has lasers in his metal arms in this. It feels very 90s. And Ron Perlman as Stryker, that is something I also didn't remember, but it is fun. The show plays a video game inspired musical score during fights. I feel like it's helpful to bring this into alignment with that classic arcade feel, since that's the origins of the Mortal Kombat is in the arcade fight. Speaking of the fighting, Katana's knife fans can defeat Sector's missile, and it is pretty darn amusing. Sub-Zero is voiced by AEW's Jungle Boy Jack Perry's late father, Luke Perry, which again is so absolutely 90s because Luke Perry was one of the stars of the hit drama, a primetime drama, Beverly Hills 90210, and that was, like I said, it was the big thing of the 90s. It was like the OC of years prior. Liu Kang and Sub-Zero converse about Liu defeating and killing Sub-Zero's brother, and Liu gets lost in thought over this. Scorpion is on his way to invade the Earth realm and enter Raiden. Ha! Nightwolf has a bat computer, and Liu Kang has a Power Ranger wrist communicator. This show really, it knows what it likes. And the whole team, they have X-Men Blackbirds. I mean, Dragon Jets is what they call them in this show. But the creative team, they understand the audience that they are looking for. The team has an underwater base that they use to stay hidden from these invaders, these attackers that come through from different realms. When the base is attacked, Sonya blames Sub-Zero because he isn't officially on the team. He linked up with them in the first fight of the show. But it can't be him. That'd be too obvious that Sub-Zero was giving it away. And these attackers are a bunch of Barakas. And the show calls them nomads. I wonder to myself, were they always called this? Because I totally don't remember. Maybe not. The kidification of Mortal Kombat for this cartoon is so nuts. All the nomads have the tusks sticking out of their forearms like Baraka does, and yet they shoot energy blasts from their forearms to keep from stabbing the heroes, much like how Jax has the energy that comes from his arms as well. After Sub-Zero saves the base, Sonya apologizes for doubting him, and the episode ends with Raiden saying that Mortal Kombat continues. This was a good introductory episode. I give it a 4 out of 5. I'm not sure if it's nostalgia or what, but I just had a really good time. When episode 2 begins, it says Sting of the Scorpion. And, I'm a big fan of Sting the wrestler. Let's hope this episode with his name in the title is wonderful. We begin right where the last episode ended, at the base with Raiden explaining that if humans are going to survive, they need to save themselves. Raiden also explains why Outworld wants Earthrealm, which is what they call Earth, because it's basically a way station from realm to realm. Regarding explanations, the show does a good job telling the viewers Scorpion's origin via Sub-Zero. Our clans have a history of hatred, good writing, and good execution by Luke Perry. The Dragon Jets are in a dogfight, so like a jet fight with Scorpion's crew, who are like skeleton minions, and they're in like flying stingray flyer things. I don't know. It's nice to look at. Makes little sense for the Mortal Kombat story, but again, it's kidified. It's making a cartoon, and I like it. And I do like how Jax is very protective of his friend Sonya. Something about the story makes me believe Scorpion might be revealed to be Sub-Zero's dead brother resurrected. I don't know, it just I got that vibe from it. Jax is possibly the most fun dude in the show. He is great at stating the obvious in the most fun ways. The team goes to a burial ground, and it's very nice looking. This world. The show is great at distinguishing between Earth and the other realms, and this burial ground tomb area is very Masters of the Universe. I can tell that the show's creative team. I can tell what the show's creative team is into just by how that they write for the heroes and how they visually show off areas. Outworld just pops and looks cooler than Earthrealm. Scorpion is out to get the evilest of evil dead, Shang Tsung. And by get, I mean resurrect. But he fails. And this episode was fine. It was a 3 out of 5. But the ending is confusing. Sub-Zero and Liu Kang send Scorpion away, but it seems like that they sent him exactly where he wanted to go. But maybe I'm wrong. Also, it turns out Scorpion isn't Sub-Zero's brother, which is fine. It seemed like that's what they were setting up for. Once again, the title gives it away. Episode 3, Acid Tongue. With a title like that, I just know Reptile will be the main antagonist in this one. And look at that. Here he is, Reptile, my man. And he is followed by a bunch of Reptile lookalikes. Right into the action. Big fan of the Mortal Kombat music playing during these fights. Just feels accurate and right. Jax, best be glad he has his metal arms, because the acid these creatures can spit, well, it's dangerous. Sonya Blade calls them lizard lips, which is, it's funny. Jax and Sonya are such a great pairing. Their partnership is one of the best aspects of the team. It's interesting that it's revealed Jax doesn't have replacement bionic arms, but these are basically just metal sleeves or armor that he's wearing, which begs the question, why did he leave his midsection open? I mean, if you're going to wear metal armor or protective gear, why not cover up your vital organs? During the fight, Jax lost some computer chip type thing that his metal arms need to be used properly, and Sonya stays behind when the team goes back to base to try and help her friend get what he needs. She finds it, but then Reptile attacks her. Nightwolf gives Jax a pep talk before he goes back to try and help Sonya. The rest of the team needs to go off to a different place to fight, because there's an additional dimensional invasion from Shiva and her people. They look very cool in this, but that's just how she goes. Her portrayal as a character has always been pretty awesome. The team is outnumbered against Shiva and her folks, so Raiden pops in to help, even though he literally just gave the pep talk about humans have to fend for themselves. Back to the Jax and Sonya stuff, and without his arms, Jax has to use Batman's detective mode from the Arkham games to go stealth and show that he can, be effective even without his super strength. The show goes back and forth between the two fronts that the baby faces are fighting, and they eventually come out on top over the villainous side. It is a good 4 out of 5 star episode, and I'm glad that they got back to that top quality of the first episode. Episode 4, Skin Deep. This one opens with Liu Kang and Jax training in this like sparring session, Jax makes a joke about Liu Kang's mortality since he won Mortal Kombat. And Luke tries to clarify that he isn't ageless, that winning Mortal Kombat just doesn't allow him to grow old. But what exactly is the difference, Lou? I don't get. I wasn't very clear. Liu Kang then gets lost in memory, and Jax snaps him out of it because they have to go to a dimensional rift. And the team are in the Blackbird, Dragon Jets, heading off to that rift. And en route, he's just messed up with the idea of not growing old. And then Katana comes in, and she helps me understand that what he's conflicted about is that it isn't that he can't die, it's just that he is ageless. So he can be killed, but he won't die from growing old. So thanks, Katana. I appreciate your help. Of course, the team splits up, and while they are apart, Liu is attacked by Rain, a man who looks much like Sub-Zero in uniform, but honestly, most of the characters look similar in design. Sub-Zero, Rain, Reptile, Scorpion, most are the same costume, just like color swapped. Katana trusts Rain, and he leads Liu Kang and the gang into this portal to another realm. Liu is not a fan of Rain, and when he finds out that Rain and Katana had been engaged to one another before, Liu is extra anti-Rain. The team is fighting off some creatures that I'm not very familiar with, but I do like their design. No big surprise, Rain took Katana and abandoned the others. This was for sure a trap, right? Clearly Rain was only out to get Katana. Raiden comes to the rescue because Shao Kahn is invading Earth. Even though the Earth needs help, Liu and Stryker are on a mission to save Katana. Stryker shares a story with Liu of love and loss, and that this is why he is staying to help bring Katana back to the team, even though the team actually is quite outnumbered on Earth. Liu and Stryker fight some cool looking like Minotaur thing. For some reason they can throw fire. Okay, I guess. Liu tracks down Katana, but it is another trap. He must now face a 5-headed, bug-faced, poison-spitting monster. Liu burns the monster and frees the princess. Hey, that's very Mario. Now it's time for Rain versus Katana one-on-one fight. Katana needs this fight so that she can prove her honor or something to the team. I don't know. She wants to show that she should be trusted, even though she put her trust in the wrong place when she had faith in Rain. Speaking of Rain, he runs off when Raiden shows up. This was a very great 5 out of 5 episode. There was a lot of stuff going on, and it just had a depth to multiple characters. Episode 5, Old Friends Never Die. That is such a cool title, and it reminds me of the WWF In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies. Once again, we open with the team training. This time it's Stryker and Jax, who are in a one-upsmanship competition with each other. Nightwolf interrupts with a dimensional rip. Are they always going to lean on this crutch? This time the invader is Smoke, another color-swapped character. Smoke, Sub-Zero, Cyrax, Sector all trained together until the master of the Lin Kuei wanted the ninjas to merge with technology, and Sub-Zero and Smoke wanted out. Smoke was captured by the master, but Sub-Zero tried and failed to save him, and Sub-Zero got away. Liu Kang tells Sub-Zero he can't blame himself, but I get where Sub-Zero is coming from, and Luke Perry does a good job convincing and conveying the emotions of the situation. When he refuses to fight his friend, Smoke, however, doesn't have the same reservations and fights Sub-Zero. When the Grandmaster shows up, to try and capture Sub-Zero, that is when the team comes in to make the save. It's interesting, the Lin Kuei master who wanted the ninjas to merge with technology as a shapeshifter. That's a little over the top to me, and more than the storyline needed, but hey, whatever. Raiden pops in late to the game like usual. This was it was a great episode, 5 out of 5. A big fan of the flashbacks with Smoke, remembering his friendship with Sub-Zero. Friendship for the win. I'm always down for it. Episode 6, Familiar Red. Baraka and the Nomads are fighting the Defenders of the Realm when Nightwolf calls the team, and they must split up to check on a new rift in the dimensional rip trope continuing. Is pretty nuts to me, but I swear it feels like the repetitive nature of it could have been why the show didn't get a second season. I'm not sure, because it had a great cast, but, only getting one season, I'm thinking maybe this is why. I'm for sure that if they did get a second season, they would have had to have come up with some new go-to thing. I'm a big fan of Kano, who is discreetly entering the Earth realm and basically hiding from Nightwolf and making him think that his computer sensors might be malfunctioning, because he keeps sending the team to places where he says there are intruders, but the team is doubting Nightwolf. And it's funny because they believe that he's now the boy who cried wolf, which is funny because he's Nightwolf. Because they keep going to these rifts in the dimensional blah blah blah, but there's no intruder. But what is actually happening is that Kano is hiding in discrete ways and getting technology together. And much like how Nightwolf gave Jax a pep talk to get his confidence back, Raiden gives Nightwolf a pep talk and says how that he is relying too much on the technology and needs to believe in himself, so that the team can excel. We see a flashback of Sonya and Kano's past, narrated by Jax. Nightwolf splits the team up to check 2 locations, and Kano has these weird mummy minions that look, I don't know, oddly like Batman the Animated Series Two-Face, which is extra strange. I mean, they're not the same color, but I mean just the general shape and design. Sonya and Nightwolf beat Kano, but he escapes. Overall, this was a very good 4 out of 5 episode. They just needed to clean up that repetitive nature of how that they are doing things. Episode 7, Fall from Grace. Shiva and her people enter the Earth realm. The team is ready and on hand, so no need for Nightwolf to call them. Thank you. Sonya being a hothead is one of the reoccurring themes of the show. Stryker tries to help her and he gets struck for his troubles. I say struck because they don't have bullets here for some reason, even though Stryker's a cop. And so him being struck is, because he was trying to help her when she was being impulsive. Sub-Zero holds off the invaders while the team verbally reprimand Sonya. She is sorry, so she takes Stryker back to base. Even that she does in a rush, which reminds me of a country song. I'm in a hurry to get things done. I rush and rush until life's no fun. Good times, Alabama. Since Sonya and Stryker are back at base, Nightwolf and Raiden hit the field since Shiva is still on the attack. Kiva, Nightwolf's dog, does not get along with Stryker. I know he's gruff, but does this mean something more? I'm not yet sure. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular, here at Mr. Super Oz. I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. Back at the fight, Jax worries that the heroes are about to become toast. Amusing. We once again reflect on Sonya's past. I thought Stryker was around the last time the show explained why she is impulsive, but maybe he wasn't. The base is being invaded by Shao Kahn's followers. Stryker is on comms walking Sonya through how to take out the invaders. I feel like Raiden says I'll be back in this show more than the Terminator does in that franchise. It's a great finish to a great episode. It gets 5 out of 5 stars. I'm a big fan of Stryker and Sonya coming together to save the base, and especially the idea of Stryker being willing to help and forgive Sonya for him getting, I won't say hurt, but sort of hurt, not shot, but struck. Episode 8, The Secret of Quan Chi. Starting off right with straight action. The whole team are fighting off robots when we meet Quan Chi, who is speaking with a snake. Kind of cool. Introduction to this character. Then they cut to Sonya and Jax training. Is Jax just everybody's sparring partner in this show? Feels that way. It's revealed in the back and forth dialogue that Jax used to be fat. He used to be fat. As a kid, I think they called him like fat bottom or something, big bottom, I don't know. That seems like it's important and will come into play later. They have the dimensional rip in Iceland, and I wonder if the creative team is recycling shots. Like these rips and the dragon jets, all this stuff just seems easily to recycle because of how, the characters never change their appearance or gear, the uniforms they're wearing, and they keep doing the same things. So it just seems very realistic that they would reuse some of the graphics or the imagery that they've created. Quan Chi is the most unique character, or at least villain, that they have had so far. And he's using the Earth as a bridge to a realm called Zatara, to try and get himself this power gem, but is protected by things that look like they're almost illusions or mystical projections. Quan Chi got the gem that he wanted, but as soon as he returned back to the Earth realm, the team is on hand. So he disguises himself as a refugee from Outworld, and he gifts the team the gem to make payment for them to protect him. But the gem, it reminds me of that golden poo from American Dad, an object that corrupts people whenever they get into contact with it. The only people unaffected by that gem that Quan Chi had and got them going mad with was Raiden and Nightwolf, because they weren't around to be infected by it. Affected, whatever. Corrupted. And so Raiden knows about the gem and explains to them that they have to get it back to Zatara and destroy it before it destroys them. And so everybody, the whole team, they're at odds this whole time. And even though Sonya promised not to bring up the fact that Jax was, a heavy kid, it's one of the many things that's thrown in each of the characters' faces because they're all out to be mean to each other. I really enjoyed Quan Chi and the interplay between the characters and this different motivation in the episode really put it over the top, and it got a 6 out of 5 stars, a spectacular grading. I like the evolution of everyone involved, and I really enjoyed seeing the USA Network logo show up in the credits. It just takes me back to when USA was a powerhouse network, having Monk, The Dead Zone, Psych, Burn Notice, even Monday Night Raw. Now it feels like Raw is all that USA has. Well, I mean, yeah, they have NXT, but they're losing both of those, presumably, this year, and only gaining SmackDown. Episode 9, Resurrection. Emperor Shao Kahn has a corpse delivered to him, and it is Shang Tsung. It's cool since this was set up back in like episode 2 as a goal for the villainous side. And it is explained that Shang is being brought back into the fold of the bad guys because, well, he is more evil than most, and he's been trapped in damnation, as they call it, so hell, I guess. And so Shao Kahn needs someone more evil than himself to wield this power orb that they have. And so Shang Tsung being even more evil than Shao Kahn is the justification for bringing him back from the dead. It's something, I guess. It's even stated that this power orb, so because it takes the power of the elements, will take Raiden's powers from him. Good luck with that, Shang Tsung. Although I was skeptical, back on Earth, it seems as though Raiden at the base is already becoming weaker, and Jax is the only one who notices it. There's no rift nonsense like we do every episode. I really want them to throw that crutch down and to begin walking without it. Never mind. Just when I think they're going to do something fresh and go a different route, here we go. We head right back down that familiar path. The whole team except Raiden and Jax go to this rift that Shang Tsung has opened, and Shang confronts Liu Kang because of their past. Shang wants revenge, and he's going to use this orb to make it all happen. He creates an earthquake that consumes the team, and the team is struggling to survive. This whole orb storyline is very reminiscent of a big MacGuffin in the Jim Lee Wildcats animated series toward the end of its run. Jax and Raiden bond back at the base over their shared love of humanity, and when they arrive at the battle, Raiden challenges Shang to Mortal Kombat. Raiden says, "I'm going to kick your sorry tail, mortal style." That's really great writing. After Raiden wins, he sends the orb into space. If this show got a second season, I'd have loved for them to face an alien threat as opposed to the constant dimensional incursions. And one of the aliens could use the orb over the span of the season, and it just would have changed the pace of things, made it more different and compelling. Overall, I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Lots of things were happening, and it set up some things that really have potential. I mean, would have had potential had they got more seasons. Episode 10, Swords of Ilkhan. We begin in Outworld with Kitana and the death of a friend who was like a second father to her. Kitana was deep in meditation and realized through this memory that came to her in her meditation that an old enemy is at hand. Jax and Sonya have a fight over Sonya feeling lonely in this mostly boys' club, so Jax recommends that she try to bond with Kitana. They share a Dragon Jet trip, Sonya and Kitana, en route to a freezing location. Sub-Zero enjoys this temperature because it comforts him. Sonya and Kitana don't bond because Kitana is distracted by her past being brought back to mind. It is Kitana's old foe, Zara. I think that's what her name was, that caused this rift. She is draining Jax of his life force with one of two twin swords, those swords of Ilkhan. Again, going down that He-Man route with the twin swords thing, like they did with Outward looking like the Master of the Universe world. Grayskull, never heard of her. I really enjoy how the creators of this show don't even try to hide the influences that they are borrowing from. Or do they just know that with their audience, myself at 10 years old, won't even notice or care about what they're doing? Furthermore, I'm sure that they didn't expect that a grown-up version of that 10-year-old would be critiquing the show 28 years later. So I guess it's fully justified that they don't see these appropriations as a problem. Kitana and Zara have a big fight after Sonya and Kitana get the second sword, and Zara gets banished, and the ladies save Jax. It was a good 4 out of 5 episode. Kitana once again hides these twin swords, and much like the orb, I really feel like they could have been touched on in a never-to-be-had second season because of just the idea of setting up the dominoes to knock them down. Episode 11, Amends. Sub-Zero and Sonya are on the lookout for Kano and the Black Dragon Syndicate after Sonya speaks with Liu Kang. She and Sub-Zero get attacked by a hidden enemy. When Sub-Zero gets knocked out and Sonya gets taken, everything is just straight chaos, and then the team arrive too late. The person who took Sonya is disfigured, so he has to wear a mask. His name is Cabal, and it's been pretty cool so far. A lot of things going on. For a moment, I wonder, is Cabal Sonya's old partner who was presumed dead at the hands of Kano and the Black Dragons? But then Cabal explains that he was exiled from the dragons by Shao Kahn, who distrusted and then subsequently disfigured him. Cabal gets Sonya back to her base, and he feels like a Phantom of the Opera type character. After planning a return strike mission, the team returned to the prior fight scene, just with more help this time. Cabal is so well done as a character that when he shows up, he feels very Sixth Ranger like Tommy Oliver is the man under the mask for Cabal. And whenever he's around, it's like victory is at hand. I'm a big fan of Kano, and especially his confidence. This, once again, is a 6 out of 5 stars. It's a spectacular episode, and it shows just how good it is to introduce new characters like a Cabal. And yeah, I know I'm a broken record, but if they'd have gotten a second season, I would have liked for him to be a welcomed member of the team. Episode 12, Abandoned. Nice beginning using the show don't tell method. Why does the audience need told a dimensional rift has occurred when the team is already at it? They don't. We find out Jax plans to leave the team since he has been so preoccupied saving the world, he didn't even know his grandfather had died until a significant time after the passing and even after the funeral itself. Sonya is devastated she is losing her friend and even offers to come back home with him. When everyone says their goodbyes to Jax, Sonya kisses him goodbye. Maybe Sonya sees Jax as more than just a friend. When everyone else is away, Jax tells Nightwolf he doesn't think he'll be returning. Raiden tries to convince Jax that he has responsibilities here to the team and to the world, but in the end, Raiden just says that he'll miss Jax. When he is at home, Jax is joined by Ruby, his grandfather's caretaker. Within the dialogue, it is revealed that weeks have passed since Jack said goodbye to his team. This is important because back at the base, Sonya is worried about Jax and asks Nightwolf if he can check in on her, or if they can check in on Jax. And the funny thing is, Nightwolf tells her that he's basically been checking in on Jax the whole time. So Sonya isn't the only one worried about him. Sonya is so jealous when Nightwolf shows her that Ruby and Jax are getting close. But within nearly no time of the jealousy, it is also revealed that Ruby is a plant from Emperor Shao Kahn. Kitana knows Ruby from Outworld. I love how Shao Kahn is generally the Thanos of this cartoon, the puppet master pulling so many of the strings. Kitana leads the team to Ruby's homeworld to save Jax, and an even bigger twist occurs when Ruby, who was actually into Jax, turns herself babyface by helping free Jax, and with that twist, the show gets a great score of 5 out of 5. It was well executed, lots of twists and turns. Way to go, Ruby. Big fan of the way they did this episode. And up next is that final episode 13, Overthrown. We begin with Kitana mourning the 5,000-year anniversary of her father's death. She is in a graveyard. This leads to a flashback, which the show is pretty good at using to their advantage. I know in some ways 5,000 years is a very, very long time. But if you just think about it as their lifespans are so long that 5,000 years doesn't seem like that long. Let's say that it's 5 years since she lost a parent. Well, that's much more understandable why she is still so devastated by it. Because it's hard to adjust to this new life, this new world where someone you relied on is no longer there for you. John Rhys Davies is playing Asgarth, and that man is a beast when it comes to acting. I love his work. Oh, by the way, Asgarth is a loyal soldier to the princess and wants her at her rightful place on the throne of Outworld. Sorry, when I hear the powerful voice of Professor Maximilian Arturo, I get excited. And so I got distracted by John Rhys Davies' voice popping in. Shiva has turned on Shao Kahn, and the Shokan are on the side of Kitana and her rebellion. I feel like a different animation studio did this last episode. The style just feels bigger, bolder, and sharper in some ways. I could be wrong, but it feels different. The babyface team aren't sure what will happen when they try to get the princess back on her throne. They aren't even certain what will happen to the team if they win, because Liu Kang is big time into Kitana. Will he stay with her, or will he return to the Earth realm? Oh, no need to be wondering about victory, because that was very premature. Given that it is revealed Shiva didn't turn good, it was actually Shao Kahn pretending to be Shiva because he is attempting to fool the good guys into a trap. Thankfully, Raiden is smart enough to know something is up and decides that he and Nightwing will stay back with just in case. It's very fun to see when Raiden and Nightwolf do show up, because Kitana, Liu Kang, all the good guys are able to manipulate Shang Tsung, Shiva, Shao Kahn, all of them into fighting each other. Kitana doesn't get back on the throne, but all the bad guys are now at odds. The heroes go back to Earth, and it's not a very good ending, but it gets a passable 2 out of 5 stars. All of this second half of the season feels like it was set up for a payoff that'll never come, because there is no season 2 or beyond. And so, with that, it is very lackluster. But thank you for tuning in to this classic cartoon review. Tune in on Monday when I review the 95 and 97 Mortal Kombat movies, and then next week is the Mortal Kombat 1 video game review, which is why all of these Mortal Kombat related content items are coming out, is so that to correlate with the video game review. Thank you. Come back next week. Enjoy.